Welcome to your new moon in Leo Tarotscopes and horoscopes for your new moon in Leo, which is on the 16th of August. Tomorrow, if you are catching this live, Grandma Nay, you are first. Congratulations. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to talk all about this new moon and how you can make the most of it. Do also check out your written horoscopes for every sign on my website, psychicsun.com, where you can also find my other offerings, readings, coaching, gift certificates, parties, classes, etc. You like the blue hair on top of the lion's head? Is my lion woke? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think that he just likes blue. Probably wants a little bit of air energy, some Aquarius energy, because we are technically still in the waning moon cycle today of the Aquarius full moon that we had about 2 weeks ago. And this is our last day, if you're catching this live, to let it go, let things go. What is love flows, what is not goes. So the new moon that we have tomorrow, the 16th of August, that's going to be in effect until the 30th of August, until our full moon in Virgo. We have 2 full moons in August. So new moons signal fresh beginnings, intentions, and inner reflection. Following the new moon, so later on tomorrow, on the 16th of August, we'll enter the waxing moon cycle from August 16th to August 30th. During that period, we'll be actively drawing in abundance and manifesting our heartfelt desires. So keep that in mind. You might want to create a list of up to 9 things, maybe a vision board. That would be wise. Just focus on what you want. There's no other main rule. We get what we concentrate on. So keep that in mind. Hey, ally from Canada. Nice to see you. Yes, exactly. Wax on, wax off. We'll be waxing on from the 16th to the 30th for sure. For aspects, let's talk about aspects. The 2 big ones I want to talk about today, well, the sun and the moon will be making a square to Uranus. So we have Leo, sun and moon at 23 degrees, and Uranus is at 23 degrees Taurus. Now that makes a 90-degree angle because Taurus and Leo are both fixed signs. So squares require a little bit of an adjustment. With the sun and moon squaring Uranus, embrace your authentic self, expect unexpected shifts, channel this dynamic energy creatively, and remain flexible. Stay grounded and true to your heart's desires. Meanwhile, we also have Uranus making a much more positive, flowy aspect. Mercury and Mars, which are at 19 and 22 degrees Virgo, respectively, will be making a beautiful trine. It's a nice 60-degree, 120-degree angle to Uranus. Very, very positive. So with that beautiful trine, harness Virgo's precision and care in your tasks and remain open to unexpected, innovative insights. Embrace both practicality and the potential for sudden brilliance. Scintillating flashes of insight are likely over the next 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. You might want to keep a notebook nearby, jot your inspirations down. Hey, Kelsey, nice to see you. Happy Tuesday. Happy new moon in Leo, which is tomorrow. So there are 4 things, 4 things to remember this new moon. 1, 4 planets are retrograde. Venus, Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune are all retrograde, and Mercury is going retrograde next week, the 23rd. So now's the perfect time to reflect on past experiences and determine the lessons that you learned. What do you want? And are you calibrated to what you want? So this retrograde energy, it makes everything slow down. So we're actually able to reflect back on relationships, experiences, paradigms, patterns. So if you're reflecting and you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. Well, now under the new moon, you say, this is what I want. But then what you got to do is you got to calibrate to it. So say you're looking for a really fulfilling relationship and you've just been disappointed. You're calibrated to disappointment. So you need to calibrate to what you want, your new moon wishes. So keep that in mind with this, all these retrogrades. It's a great time to reflect and be like, okay, well, I keep attracting this, or this keeps not happening, and I want this to happen, or I want to attract this. So you got to calibrate to it. You got to align your energy with what it is that you want. And the retrogrades are great to do that because everything slows down. And you're like, oh, this is how I love. This is how I deal with this or deal with that. So keep that in mind. Additionally, you want to ground and shield yourself. We have a lot of Uranian aspects. So with the unpredictable Uranian influences, it's essential to stay grounded. Grounded meaning unobstructed by currents. Engage in activities that connect you to the earth, like spending time in nature, gardening, meditating, exercising. That's going to connect you to the earth. And just spend time in nature. That'll be really helpful. Also, of course, you want to light yourself up. You want to consider your greatest passions and what lights you up. What gets your lights on? What gets you excited? What makes you feel alive? And how might you explore creatively these areas? What would add more fun to your life and more light to the world? So the more you're lit up, your heart will be more open, and that is very, very powerful and healing. The electromagnetic field around the heart is much, much, much greater than the one that is around the brain. So keep that in mind. By opening up your heart and sending love and being lit up, you could be creating healing, of course, for yourself, but also for people in your environment and other people in the world. So be a leader, especially creatively over the next 2 weeks. What can you do to really show up for yourself and invite joy into your life and line up with that joy, even calibrate to that joy? So it's a very creative new moon. That's for sure. And of course, mind the trine. Mind the trine. So Mars and Mercury, as we said, are going to form harmonious trines with Uranus. You could even include Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, and that would be a grand trine. It's a little wide. Capricorn, Pluto is at 28 degrees. So you could use it. You could use that part of your trine with Uranus, Mercury, Mars. It's a little wide, but still, you could tap into that energy. And you want to mind the trine. So whenever we have a trine, let's just say for sake of argument, good morning, Jamie Honey Bunny. Nice to see you. Just let's say for sake of argument, we have this grand trine, right? So we have a surplus of earth energy that we can use to whatever it is that we want. So we have a lot of blessings of earth energy over the next 2 weeks. So you could put this toward practical things. This could be developing your talents, exercise, fitness, making money, furthering your projects, anything in terms of practical stuff. You might want to think of like the different signs. Taurus, okay, well, I'm going to make more money. Virgo, I'm going to organize better. Capricorn, I'm going to achieve something in my career. I'm going to go to that next level, or I'm going to make a good impression. So keep that in mind with all that earth energy. You can really leverage it and move forward, especially in anything pertaining to practical things. So with that trine, use the blessings of earth energy toward practical ends. So finances, fitness, work, health, etc. So keep all these aspects in mind for your new moon. What you want to do, of course, is find out where 23 degrees of Leo falls in your chart. That's where the magic is. That's the life area where you'll be planting seeds for new beginnings and drawing in energy until our full moon in Virgo on August 30th. And what we're going to do now is look at the horoscopes and tarotscopes for your sign. You can check your rising sign, your sign, even your moon sign if you feel so inclined, but particularly your rising sign. And it would be helpful to make a note in your chart where that 23 degrees is, and then you can follow along that way too. So, Aries. Happy new moon, Aries. This is going to be really nice for you. The new moon in Leo will be transiting your 5th house of pleasure, true love, affection, romance, your creations, creativity, including your children, if you have any. And if you don't have children, it could be creative projects. So this is a new beginning for you creatively. And your self-expression could definitely be galvanized over the next 2 weeks. Meanwhile, we have Mars and Mercury in your 6th house of lifestyle, work, health, routines. So there's probably going to be some nice developments there with Uranus making a trine, a harmonious aspect to both Mercury and Mars, which are now transiting your 6th house. So putting this together, you could create a new routine or system that allows you to be more creative, or something in terms of your creativity could really help your work, your health, your routines. So blend your creativity this new moon with your lifestyle, with the plan, with your nuts and bolts, day-to-day operations, and you should have a great new moon. So let's see, Aries, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. Now, these are very general readings, obviously, but take what resonates and drop what doesn't. So guidance for Aries, wisdom for Aries. Two of Wands. So this is a great card. So Two of Wands, it really is all about your personal power. This is like the minor arcana equivalent of the Magician card, right? It's tapping into your personal power and doing what you can to make a splash. This could be about a debut that you're making. It really is all about your personal power. And because it's a 2, you do have to be a little bit cognizant of power struggles or partnership problems, dynamics, partnership control dynamics at times. I always see that the 2 of Wands. If you remember as a kid, mostly boys did this, but you played that game Mercy, where you grab somebody's fingers and you try to press them back and they try to press yours back. And whoever loses, they lose because they say, mercy, 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 it hurts. So this is sort of one of those episodes with the 2 of Wands, right? You might be doing this with yourself, right? Balancing contradictory desires. But essentially, I would say with Venus retrograde and all these other planets retrograde, Mercury going retrograde next week, pick your battles, right? Sometimes if you acquiesce in some area, and then you get to really fight for those things that mean a lot to you. But the 2 of Wands, really, the advice is to allow yourself success in more than one area. In fact, 2 areas. So there might be 2 areas that are really, really successful for you over the next 2 weeks, Aries. So go out and get them and enjoy your new moon. Taurus. So Taurus, this new moon in Leo is hitting your 4th house of home and family. It's a very domestic transit. So there's new beginnings for you in matters of home, family, and emotional well-being, essentially emotional security. That is what the 4th house is about. This is a new beginning for you in regard to feeling at home within the self, feeling really yummy and cozy and tucked in, right? So you want to really tap into the divine mother over the next 2 weeks. That's going to make everything better for you. Meanwhile, Mars and Mercury are dancing in your 5th house, so you can expect some surprises and delights in regard to love, romance, creative projects, and even personal investments. So We have a lot of planets that are retrograde, including Venus. So when it comes to love and romance, I wouldn't say like everything stops to a grinding halt because Venus is retrograde. It's more a matter of keep in the flow of things in regard to Venus being retrograde. But note that things are probably not as they seem. So oftentimes with Venus retrograde, girl starts dating this guy and it looks great and it's wonderful. And then Venus goes direct and she's like, oh, I realized that he's married or he's not over his ex or whatever, right? So we don't have all the information available in regard to matters pertaining to love and money under Venus retrograde. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't date. That means instead that you want to take a wait and see approach before investing too much. So keep that in mind. There could be some really good things there. Chat went down, Grandma Nay. Thank you, Grandma Nay. Yes, indeed. Mount the like button. So Taurus, this is a nice transit for you. You're going to feel more at home within the self. And there could be some nice developments in terms of dating. In fact, with Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde next week and other planets, there might be somebody from the past that comes back and maybe they've changed. So do yourself a favor and maybe look at people with different glasses. People do change, right? Everything is constantly moving and constantly vibrating. So maybe if you meet somebody again from the past, maybe they've gone through some changes. Maybe they've grown up. Maybe they've learned. So let's see, Taurus, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Taurus. Wisdom for Taurus. Wisdom for Taurus. The moon. So the moon card is really interesting, right? The moon is very, very changeable. It's about fluctuations. Nothing is really as it seems. So if you're going through a little bit of confusion right now and you're like, I don't know what's going on, well, wait it out, right? The moon card counsels passivity. The wind is in your face, the moon card says. Don't make any big moves or plans. However, this is a really good time to get in touch with your subconscious, again, with all of these retrograde planets, and it's an internal time of reflection. So you're able to really look and understand your paradigms, the patterns that you go through in relationships. If you find yourself always in this situation in which you're cheated on or you're with somebody who doesn't show up, the common denominator is you, right? So with the moon card, you can actually look at your subconscious and be like, oh, I have this limiting belief in regard to love, in regard to romance, money, whatever. So allow yourself to really reflect over the next 2 weeks. Likewise, with the moon card, you could also get really in touch with art and well, those things that are really beyond words. The moon, as well as the subconscious, is really about understanding things in terms of images and feelings. So this is a great time to get very creative and get really familiar with verse or color, right? You're going to be probably very, very sensitive to images and art. So be passive, get creative, and definitely meditate, plummet your subconscious, and start focusing on what you want. Remember, calibrating to the new story, your new love story, your new emotional security story. So keep that in mind, Taurus, and happy new moon. Gemini. So Gemini, this new moon in Leo will be transiting your third house, which is great for you. This is your house that your sign rules. So it's a new beginning for you, Gemini, in regard to your communications with other people, maybe where you go on a regular basis, but most important, it's your mindset. New communications with yourself, essentially, and that's everything. Like the way you see the world determines what you get, right? So focus on what you want. Maybe you're deciding this new moon, you know what? I'm sick of worrying about this all the time. I'm going to hand this over to God and I'm going to do whatever I can do. Or maybe it's a matter of you want to switch things up a little bit and you don't want to deal with the same people, the same environments as you usually do. And it also might be a time in which you're like, I really want to learn this. I really want to delve into this area. Further, there's going to be some really nice activity going on in your home and family sector of your chart. So with Mercury and Mars in your 4th house and that Uranian influence making that harmonious trine, you might find yourself making some really great strides over the next 2 weeks in terms of home, family, and emotional security. For instance, if you're looking for a place, you might find one, or you might find out what it is that you need in your life to feel super emotionally secure. Like what makes everything feel better, because the feeling state that you're in is everything, right? Life is really an emotional game. So with these two energies that you're playing with, a new mindset with the new moon hitting your 3rd, and then you have all this really cool energy in your 4th house, it's a matter of aligning your mind with how you want to feel, and also thinking the thoughts that feel good so you can cultivate more emotional security. And when you have more emotional security, you don't sabotage yourself, essentially, and you can enjoy things. So let's see, Gemini, some wisdom for you for this new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Gemini for the new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Gemini. Leo. The Tower. Oh boy. Well, this doesn't mean that, life's going to go to hell in a handbasket. The Tower is a very, very strong healing card. Think back to the biblical story, the Tower of Babel, right? These guys, they were so arrogant. They wanted to create this tower to be higher than God, to surpass divinity. And God got very mad and he struck the tower down with lightning, and everybody was speaking in tongues and it was utter chaos. But the thing is that with the Tower card, whatever it is that we were building, and we all do this in some capacity, whatever it is that we were building, it was on some false pretense, and therefore it's going to come crumbling down. So with the Tower card, it's about really looking at the structures that you've put in your life that are either no longer relevant. It could be a matter of you're outgrowing your environment, which does make sense with the new moon in the 3rd house. You're like, I'm kind of over this. I need this to change. And also with the Tower card, it's a card of healing. So this might be also a brilliant flash of insight of like, wow, I can actually do this. But the big thing with the Tower is to allow yourself to really connect with what's real. Connect with what you know to be true. The earth, love, source, right? And allow yourself to rebuild. This is a time in which, with the Tower, you're going to be able to create fertile ground and be able to plant seeds that are actually going to sprout and be really, really strong. So don't feel bad about letting things go that are no longer relevant. This is a time of getting rid of the weeds and allowing yourself to plant new seeds in fertile ground for the best life you could possibly have. So keep that in mind, Gemini. Cancer. So Cancer, this new moon in Leo is hitting your 2nd house. Finances, values, talents. So it's a nice new moon. It's a good new moon for you. It's a great time for you to explore your creative gifts. It's a great time for you to delve into your talents. And also it's a good time for you to make money. The 2nd house is money that is yours, that you make from your talents, from what it is that you do. So this could be, maybe you'll be considering a side hustle, or maybe this is a good time for you to add something new to what you do in regard to work that allows you to increase your income. Or maybe you're just going to explore your talents. Meanwhile, you got Mercury and Mars in your 3rd house, so your brain is really, really activated. So there might be some really cool news that you get over the next 2 weeks, and you also might decide that you want to take a class. It might be some kind of social thing that you wind up doing that is a big game changer. But most important, with Mercury and Mars in your 3rd house, it's a matter of your mind is probably going to be awoken, and you're going to be probably like, I never thought of this way before. Remember, you always have the power to see things differently, and that could be what happens with Mercury and Mars in your third house. But overall, this is a really great time for you to make more money, to really cultivate your wealth and explore your talents and really what you value. This could be a really great time for you to determine, oh, wow, I actually want this more in my life now. So keep that in mind. And let's see, Cancer, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. Three of Cups. Well, this is a perfect card for you, Cancer. Three of Cups is about celebration, right? It's about abundance, and it's about parties, right? Parties, celebrations. So it's a very, very positive card. This card is really all about being overflowing, right? Overflowing with love. Your cup overrunneth. So find out what makes your cup overflow. Is it love? Is it creativity? Is it sex? Is it money? Whatever it is. But allow yourself to tap into what makes you feel overjoyed, overflowing with love and emotion. This is a card of really great blessings. So I would, even though Venus is retrograde, I wouldn't pass up any invitations to parties. They could be very advantageous to you. And I would say with Three of Cups, in light of your second house transit, notice that there's a very, very strong link between love and money. So if you're going through a second house transit and the money's not flowing as much as you would like, ask yourself, are you loving as much as you possibly could, right? Because love and money are both connected via Venus, right? So there's a lot of abundance here for you, Cancer, and you just got to tap into that vibration. Every subject, they say, is two subjects, right? So you have abundance on one side of things. I'll use my incense. You have abundance on one side of things, right? And then you have scarcity in the left, and then the other side, right? But you want to be on this side. You want to be on the side of abundance, of overflowing, right? Because we are in an abundant universe. So count your blessings and allow them to multiply. I'm sure they will. So happy new moon, Cancer. New moon in Leo for you. Leo, happy birthday, Leo. This is your new moon. So we got new beginnings for you in your personal identity and your emotional well-being. So essentially, it's a new beginning for you in terms of your personality. And that is a big deal because your personality creates your personal reality. If you want a new personal reality, we'll change your personality. The first house is huge. It not only has to do with your personality, how you present yourself, the package that you give to the world, but also your perception. So if you want things to change, you have to change yourself. It's like what they say with the mirror, you can't yell at the mirror for not smiling at you. You have to smile and you get that reflected back, right? So this is a wonderful time for you to determine who it is that you are and who it is that you are emotionally and what emotions you want to experience over the next year. There's a nice new cycle for you. So you might, if you've had some trouble or some challenges, calibrate to what it is that you want. Calibrate to what you want, not what you don't want, right? So you might just be more accustomed or more calibrated to things that you don't want. And that's what you need to do this new moon. You need to say, I know this is going to be uncomfortable, but I want to align with this energy. Sometimes it's good to look at somebody who has what you want and determine what their beliefs are or how do they feel about these different areas. Meanwhile, you got some nice energy in your financial sector, Leo. So there could be some nice surprises and delights over the next 2 weeks. I guess it could go over the next 6 months. But I would look over the next 2 weeks for some surprises and delights in regard to your personal values. You might determine, oh, this is really what I care about more than anything, or I care more about this than I had before. It also could be a matter of a new talent is developed or an old talent is resparked. And also money. This isn't gambling money with the second house. Although, because you have the new moon in your sign, you're probably going to be more lucky. I would say more so with Mars and Mercury in your second, you might come up with some really great ideas. You might be able to create a side hustle. You might be able to explore another talent that you have that you can incorporate into your work that could get you a raise. So it's a very positive energy. Oh, wow. It's your dad's birthday. He's sitting right here. Can you wish Dean a happy birthday? I certainly will. Dean, happy birthday. This is going to be a great year for you. You got a new moon the day after your birthday. So it's going to be quite the new beginning for you. So happy birthday, Dean. So Leo, let's see what you get for your tarot, right? Let's see what wisdom you get for your new moon. Let's see what's up. So wisdom for Leo, for the new moon in Leo. Wisdom for 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 Leo. Interesting. Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords, it's really, because it's a queen, even if you're a guy, it's a matter of understanding the internal landscape, especially in regard to your intelligence. So this is about feeling more internally secure with your brain, right? With knowing what is right and what is wrong. So with the Queen of Swords, she's very, very sharp. She's very, very savvy. She knows what's up. And she is a really great writer. They can be really great dancers. They're very, very quick on the uptake, and they know what they need to do in order to get a result that they want. She's sort of like the professional. So with this card, Leo, you want to really tap into your internal sense of inner confidence. Leo is an heir of fire sign. So it's a fire sign, but it's the most airy fire sign, meaning it's the most intellectual. So you're the most intellectual fire sign, even though Sagittarius would seem to be. You're much more intellectual than the other fire signs, believe it or not. So with this card, it's a matter of allowing yourself to get confident in you being able to determine what's what, right? And really being able to make some good decisions. When you cultivate that inner confidence of like, I'm very smart, I know what I'm doing. She is the professional as well. It's going to be easier for you. So keep that in mind, and don't be afraid, I think, with the Queen of Swords, of going it a little bit alone, seeking your own counsel, and really listening to your inner voice and developing your confidence. Because Queen of Swords, she usually is very dependent upon her own ideas and her own mind. So keep that in mind for your new moon. And happy new moon, Leo. You are so welcome. Thank you and your dad for joining today. I do appreciate that. And again, happy birthday, Dean. You are smart. You're super smart. Indeed. So Virgo, you might be feeling like you're underwater. You might be feeling like you're underwater this new moon because it's hitting your 12th house. So there's a new beginning for you in regard to the subconscious. Essentially, this new moon is gearing you up for your birthday, right? So you want to allow yourself to really look at your subconscious beliefs. What limiting beliefs do you have? And what do you want to put in place instead of those old beliefs that are outdated and that are not getting you what you want? So this is a time when you might want to spend a little bit of time alone. You might want to hibernate a little bit, right? To really listen to yourself. And also with all these planets retrograde, I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think you're going to be missing too much if you feel inclined to spend some time alone. With the 12th house transit, Virgo, you might want to get some extra sleep. You might want to get some extra sleep. You might want to step up your meditations, any of your self-care practices, because it's a time of introspection and spiritual growth. And you can't really listen to the inner voice when you're having a party. Additionally, you get Mercury and Mars in your sign. and it's making that beautiful trine to Uranus. So this is a time in which you might be surprising yourself. I never knew I was good at this. I never knew I could achieve this. I never knew I had this talent. And it's a beautiful thing. When you touch upon a new aspect of yourself, it's very, very exciting. And it's a wonderful link, right? Between that new moon in the 12th house of your subconscious and all of this great energy and activity in your first house. So, it's sort of like the subconscious is the 12th house, really, and the conscious is the first house, you could say. So it is sort of like your consciousness can impregnate your subconscious, right? So you sort of like, say you want a new job, right? So you consciously, I want a new job. So you put that in your subconscious. I'm going to be able to get a new job. I have a new job. This is what the job feels like. And then you give birth to it. Because whatever is in our subconscious, we give birth to. So you want to think of it as planting seeds, right? With this beautiful new moon and all of that activity in your first house, it can be very advantageous to you. So focus on what you want and start thinking that you already have it. That could be really good because you want to vibrate. You want to vibrate as if you already have what it is that you want. So then you're a vibrational match to it. And oftentimes when you don't care anymore, boom, that's when it shows up. It's the funniest thing. You finally get into a relationship. All these guys are knocking on your door. You're making plenty of money. Everybody then is now throwing money at you. So you can get whatever it is that you want, they say, so long as you already have it vibrationally, emotionally. So keep that in mind. Let's see, Virgo, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. New moon in Leo for Virgo. New moon in Leo for Virgo. Look at this. Page of Cups. So Page of Cups is a really cool card. It's about being open and vulnerable and letting something capture your heart. So it's a page, right? So it's a youngster. So this is about you and your inner child. You might have something that is new that comes into your life and gets you really excited. You could fall in love and be really, really touched and feeling all those mushy, emotional feelings as if you're a little like a teenager again, right? Likewise, it could be something like art that really captures your heart. Something emotionally is going to make you, something is going to happen in your life that makes you feel emotionally really young. Something's going to capture your heart. So keep that in mind. This is a wonderful, wonderful card to get. Allow yourself to tap into that inner child energy. This is Leo season still, and this new moon in Leo is all about celebrating and allowing yourself to tap into that inner kid. So let your heart be captured, be it via art. It could be a person. It could be, a relative that you care about, or you can rekindle an old relationship, stuff like that. But lead with your heart. Just, use your brain as well. So keep that in mind. Libra. So Libra, this is a nice little transit for you. It's kind of easy. It's a nice 11th house transit. So there's a new beginning around community, your friends, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your ideals. So you could spark some new social connections during this period. Again, we do have Venus retrograde. Mercury will be going retrograde next week on the 23rd of August. So it's better to develop what you already have in effect. However, if you say you decided to start looking for a new tribe or a new community of people prior to the retrograde, early in July, let's say, or earlier than that, well, this could be a really good culmination of that. And it's also a time in which you can manifest your highest hopes, dreams, wishes, and ideals. So remember, with an 11th house transit, there are no dangling carrots in the universe, meaning that what you want comes with it the built-in prerequisite ability for you to achieve it, meaning that the supply comes before the demand. So if you want friends and you want more social life and you want to have some good times and laughs, that is already available to you. You just got to calibrate to it, line up with it, and then take inspired action following your impulses. Likewise, it could be a new beginning in terms of your dreams. You might be like, you know what? I really want to do this. I'm going to finally write that book, or I'm going to finally meet the man of my dreams. I'm going to finally tap into my creativity or get in a really great shape, whatever it is that you want. Your highest hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. Those two, if you want them, well, they're available to you because, again, the supply comes before the demand. Meanwhile, you do have Mercury and Mars transiting your 12th house. So this is interesting. It is a lot of activity that's going on behind the scenes in your head. I would say that with the 12th house transit with Mercury and Mars, there's some good stuff, good development that's going on in your head and your subconscious, but it might be a matter of really needing to meditate more, to journal more, to empty out what's in your brain. Oftentimes, it's good to just talk it out. So you could talk into a recorder, you could journal, you could call a friend, but you need a sounding board at times, right? That might be good for you if you feel like it. But essentially, what you want to do during this period is really allow yourself to listen to your brain. Listen to what your dreams are telling you, especially. And that might lead you closer to your tribe, some good friendships and some really great social stuff, and even your bigger hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. So let's see, Libra, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra. Oh, wow. How nice. So Ace of Wands is a very positive card, really positive. So this is the second most high energy card, in fact. First being the Sun, right? So with the Ace of Wands, it's like a blazing torch, and it's raw potential. It's raw fire energy, and it's just potential, though. So you could put this toward whatever it is that you want. You could be like, I want to clean my house and make it sparkling. Ace of Wands. You can put it toward that. I want to find a new job that pays me lots of money that I really, really love. You could use Ace of Wands for that. I would want to fall in love and meet the man of my dreams. You could use Ace of Wands for that. Whatever it is that you want, you're going to have the fire to put toward it, right? But this is a very raw energy, so I do suggest that you have an objective in mind. Otherwise, with Mars and Mercury in your 12th, you could use this to flip out on somebody, which you do not want to do, right? So keep that in mind. Ace of Wands is really, really nice. You're going to have a lot of energy. And often with Ace of Wands, it's a new identity. So if you're looking to achieve new friendships or even other goals and whatnot, the Ace of Wands would say that you need to become the person that would have that. So it is about shedding skin. It's about saying, this is the new me. The new me attracts this, or the new me is very, very popular, or the new me, finds friends wherever I go. Or you could look at it in terms of your hopes and dreams, that the new me can achieve this. So keep that in mind, Libra, and happy new moon. Scorpio. Well, it looks like you might be going after that trophy, Scorpio, with the new moon in Leo hitting your 10th house of status, recognition, how the world sees you. So this is a new beginning for you professionally, essentially. New beginnings in terms of career and public recognition. It's a good time for your reputation. So I would say over the next 2 weeks, Scorpio, you want to make an impression. You want to, show up on time, put in a little bit of extra effort, just because VIPs are watching. And this could be a great time for you to climb up to that next level professionally. So think about what it is that you can contribute to the world by virtue of what you do, your vocation. This could also be a new beginning in terms of what you want to do for the world, how you want to contribute. You could say, you know what? I'm over this career. I've reached the climax of my enterprises here. Now I want to do this. And the new moon in Leo is going to be really good for that. And you're really supported because you got Mercury and Mars transiting your 11th. So that's really positive. So what that means is Mercury and Mars, Mercury is communication, Mars is activity and drive and initiative, and all that is in your 11th house of social connections, friends, community, and hopes, dreams, wishes, and ideals. So when we put this together, we notice that there could be some great career opportunities that you get via your network. So keep that in mind. Definitely connect with your community. Maybe this is a matter of bumping up your social media or tapping into your LinkedIn. I will say that if you are on LinkedIn and you want to jazz that up, check your privacy settings. Because say you had a job that you started a year ago, but you didn't revise your LinkedIn, didn't update your LinkedIn. If you change your job on LinkedIn without your privacy settings being intact, then the whole world will get a notification. You got a new job when you didn't get the new job. But what is that doing? That's telling the whole world that you're changing your LinkedIn profile, which means essentially you're looking for work. So button everything up, especially under Mercury retrograde. You want to make sure that you're not making announcements that you don't want to make, right? But this is a very good time for you professionally. I would definitely look at what you want to achieve, and really your social connections could be what does it for you. So let's see, Scorpio, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Scorpio. Wisdom for Scorpio. Wisdom for Scorpio. Wisdom for Scorpio. Well, you get the Strength card. Strength. So this is the Leo card, actually. And if we notice in this card, this lady is gently prying open or closed, depending on how you look at it, the lion's mouth. And the lion represents the beast, right? It's all that is beastly within human nature. And we all have this lion. So the lion, you could look at it as your solar plexus. It can be completely tamed and sort of suppressed. And then the lion doesn't really do anything. It doesn't roar. It's suppressed. Or you could have that beast within that's like willy-nilly and throws a fit when you don't get your way. And that's another extreme, right? But what you want to do is you want to find that balance. You want to be in touch with your will, and you want to guide it. You want to say, okay, I want this. I'm going to do this. So essentially, like if you're upset about something, or say somebody's triggering you, right? It's a matter of noticing it, being like, okay, I want to kill this person. I'm not going to kill them. I'm not going to say anything out of turn. I'm just going to guide myself. I'm going to close my mouth. I'm going to do what I need to do. And everything's going to be fine. That doesn't mean you're suppressing the will. You're exercising strength over yourself and allowing yourself to guide yourself to what your greater goals are, right? So keep that in mind. Get in touch with your will. You might want to tap into the color of yellow, not just because you got the Strength card, but yellow or gold because, well, that's the color of the sun, right? So it's that Leo energy. So Scorpio, just be sure to guide your will toward what it is that you want, and also be gentle with yourself. The Strength card is about gentle strength. So if you're trying to change something in your life, or you want to make some kind of adjustments, go easy. Be gentle with yourself and even gentle with other people, especially because Venus is retrograde and that love energy is not as palpable as it usually is. So keep that in mind. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, well, happy new moon, April. Thank you for popping in. Enjoy work. I hope you have a good day at work. Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, this new moon is really nice. It's hitting your 9th house. You might get to go on a trip. The 9th house is all about expanding your mind. And in the old days, education used to be linked more with travel. They used to see travel as a form of education. And of course it is. The more we travel, the more we see the world, the more tolerant we get, the more we learn. And it also really helps us energetically. There's the philosophy that when we go on a trip, we meet up with our spirit in that place. That's why in astrology, we have relocation charts or astrocartography, where you can actually look and see, oh, this is who I am in this place, or this is how my personality differs. Even for myself, when I moved from Boston to New York, my rising sign changed. And that's not even too far of a distance. So definitely travel, if only to understand yourself better and to tap into a different aspect of yourself. But this is not just a new beginning in terms of travel. However, you could plan a trip during this period. It'd be really advantageous to do so. Plan, not go on, but plan a trip over the next 6 months. You also might have a new beginning in terms of higher learning. You might be like, you know what, I'm going to go get a law degree, or I'm going to study this subject, or I'm going to, tap into my spirituality and do a deep dive into that. Essentially, it's all about expansion. How can you expand your mind? How can you grow? So that would be really, really great. Anything that you feel compelled to do in those realms would be really advantageous. And there's going to be just some really great energy that is really set for your personal growth and development. Meanwhile, Mercury and Mars are activating your nice 10th house of career and status. So this might be a time in which you get some recognition. There might be some career opportunities that are ahead of you. Again, Venus is retrograde, so Venus rules love as well as money. So if you can take a wait and see approach, I would do that. But this could be really, really nice. Some big surprises in terms of career. You might get noticed. There might be somebody who calls you out for being awesome at your job. So keep that in mind. It's a time of growth and expansion. Really good energy. So let's see, Sagittarius, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your Leo new moon. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Three of Pentacles. So this is an interesting card. So the Three of Pentacles is really about giving things the works. So it could be you independently being like, okay, this is what I want. I'm going to throw myself into it. I'm going to break this project down. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. Also with Three of Pentacles, it could be about really bringing in experts and other people to help you. So for instance, say you are planning a trip because it's a new moon in your 9th. Maybe it's a matter of you bring in somebody to help you, like a travel agent, or maybe you're going to some place and you know that two of your friends had gone there before. Well, bring them in to help you plan your trip. Likewise, you might want to talk to, say you're looking to expand your education. Maybe this is a matter of finding people that have taken a course that you've taken before. It's about teamwork, right? But if you're not able or willing, or it's not appropriate for you to tap into a team, this is about you allowing yourself mind, body, and spirit to throw yourself into something, right? So giving it the works, being really, really aligned with mind, body, and spirit, and putting it toward further education or toward foreign travel or toward any form of expansion. So give things the works, Sagittarius, and you'll be great per usual. Capricorn. So Capricorn, you're like the phoenix this new moon. The phoenix rising from the ashes, transforming, letting go. So it's an 8th house transit. So there is going to be most likely some letting go for you, Capricorn risings. And what that means is it's a new beginning for you in terms of intimacy and personal transformation. So the 8th house is about boundaries, those that we set and those that we dissolve. For instance, an 8th house could be like a divorce. You can be like, yeah, I'm not going to be with this person anymore. I'm going to amputate this relationship. Or it could be the opposite. I'm going to join resources with this person. I'm going to move into their home. They're going to move into my home. We're going to move in together. We're going to have sex. Again, we're dropping the boundaries in that example. Whereas a divorce or leaving something, you're amputating the relationship. So you're setting a boundary. You're saying no. So this is a time in which you're going to be able to determine your boundaries. Essentially, if something feels good and supports you, say yes, lean in, dissolve the boundary. If something is undermining your emotional security and making you feel bad, set a boundary. Don't let people undermine your self-worth and your good feelings, right? So it could be also about giving yourself rules and being like, you know what? Every time I do this, I feel like hell. Or it's a matter of every time I feel like this, I feel amazing. So I'm going to do this more. I'm going to give myself rules. So you give yourself rules and really everything's just easier. So keep that in mind. You're going through an 8th house transit, Capricorn, most likely. So it's about letting go. Where can you die metaphorically and be reborn like that phoenix? Meanwhile, Mercury and Mars are creating some nice energy in your 9th house of expansion. So you might want to expand your mind. Maybe you need something intellectual that broadens your horizons, that makes you feel good. And maybe that'll be a part of your new beginning. Maybe what you need is a vacation. You need a trip to a foreign land. And this is a great transit to start planning one. But it's all about your personal growth. So essentially what you're doing is you're letting the old part of you die, and you're allowing yourself to line up with a bigger version of yourself, right? And that's going to be great. That's going to be wonderful for you. So set your boundaries, Capricorn, and enjoy this season. It could be really great. So let's see, Capricorn, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Capricorn. Wisdom for Capricorn. Page of Cups. I love this. So Page of Cups is great. Page of Cups is the youngster, right? This could be your younger inner child, right? Also, it could be if you have a child, this could be Page of Cups. There might be focus around your child, but more often than not, it's an aspect of yourself, right? You might find yourself really, really open and vulnerable, and you might allow something to capture your heart, right? And maybe that's what this transformation is about. Maybe you're going to be feeling things that you hadn't felt in ages, right? So with the Page of Cups, this is really about you allowing your heart to be captured, to really tap into that inner child energy. Determine what it is that really, really lights you up, what makes you feel joyful. Where might you release some boundaries in a healthy way, in a safe way, but that makes you feel more loved and more taken care of. Maybe it's boundaries with a person, or maybe it's boundaries with your artistic self and your creativity. Maybe you don't allow yourself to flow when you're creating something. Maybe you don't allow yourself to really embrace and flow with your artistic abilities. And the Page of Cups comes up, and you're like a child. You're like vulnerable. You don't care. You're innocent. You're vulnerable. You're open, and you're very, very loving. This is very, very strong heart energy. And I think it's wonderful. If you're going through a rebirth this transit and you're tapping into this Page of Cups, things are really going to go your way, because Capricorns in particular, they grow old in reverse. They're born with a tremendous amount of responsibility. And as they progress, life gets easier. In fact, they usually look younger as they progress. Capricorns will typically look younger at 50 than they did 40, at 40 than they did 30. So let your heart be captured, Capricorn. Let your imagination be captured. It could be a really great transit for you, for sure. Aquarius, you could be tying the knot. You might be getting married, or at least meeting somebody. If it's not romantic, it could be a professional partnership. The 7th house is about contracts, tacit or literal, right? It's when you have a commitment with somebody else. So it's a long-term partnership. It could be a spouse. It could be a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend. It also could be your best friend forever. It could also be a business partner. So you get new beginnings in regard to that. Now, Venus is retrograde. So the best thing to do under Venus retrograde is to really reflect and really look at yourself. So if you're looking for certain qualities in a partner, you got to ask yourself, are you the reciprocal of those qualities? For instance, Say you're looking for somebody in your life and you want them to be generous to you. Well, are you the reciprocal of that? Are you receptive and are you appreciative and are you in your gratitude? And do you really allow yourself to accept those things that you say you want, even a compliment? So oftentimes, and Aquarians may do this actually more than other people, we give them compliments and we throw them away. It's like somebody says, well, nice shirt. No, really, you have the nice shirt. I like your tie. And it's so disingenuous, right? Or it seems that way. It can seem that way, even though it might not be. So essentially, you want to allow yourself to really look at whether or not you're showing up and being the vibration that is the reciprocal of what it is that you want. I.e., think about what the partners in your life might want. And can you be that person? Can you allow yourself to be a vibrational match for what it is that you want? In all your relationships, right? Meanwhile, you got Mercury and Mars in your 8th house of boundaries, intimacy, transformation. So you might be going through a lot of changes right now, Aquarius. There's some really good surprises, perhaps in the realm of intimacy, in terms of personal transformation. There might be some kind of opportunity that is a real game changer for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did involve partnerships. I would just say, again, with Venus retrograde, take a wait and see approach. Things might not be as they seem. So it's not a matter of you need to stop all relating and love endeavors immediately, but it's a matter of remembering that this is a time to really refine and to really get in touch with what it is that you want and making sure that you're lined up with it, that you're calibrated to what you want emotionally, particularly in partners. So let's see, Aquarius, what wisdom you get from the tarot with your new moon in Leo in your opposite sign. Wisdom for Aquarius. 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 Interesting. 8 of Cups, which makes a lot of sense, right? With Mercury and Mars in your 8th house, 8 of Cups is that moving on type energy. So with the 8 of Cups, there's certain things that just are no longer working for you, most likely. And you need to allow yourself to just walk on, just let it go, right? Leaving the rat race. If you're finding yourself just exhausted by what it is that you're doing on a regular basis, or even in terms of relationships, maybe you're spending time with somebody and you're like, oh, every time you see them, it's like it's costing you more energy than you're getting. The 8 of Cups is like, move on, allow yourself to let go. Again, Venus is retrograde, so you might want to not make any momentous decisions. Because Venus is retrograde, that love energy is a little bit dormant. So you might not be feeling certain things because of Venus. So maybe it's a matter of you don't make any momentous decisions, but you start that process of moving on from old emotions into new ones. But I would remember, what is love flows, what is not goes. And leaving things a la your 8th house, Mercury and Mars right now, could be very advantageous to you. You could be finding yourself in leaving one situation, you're opening something up for you. So if something's draining you and it's making you exhausted and it's just no longer filling your cup, consider letting it go because you've got some new beginnings that are ahead, particularly in partnerships. When I say intimacy, not meaning sex. Okay, so intimacy is, it can be a lot of different things, right? It can definitely be sex with an 8th house transit, right? Definitely. It's about boundaries. But it also could be about emotional intimacy, really telling somebody, this is my heart. This is how I feel about these things. It also could be intimacy in terms of your resources. So say I have my business and you have your business, and we're like, well, we would be stronger together if we collaborated. Well, there's a financial intimacy, right? The money that I have for my business, I'm giving to you. and you're giving me your money from your business. So there's a certain intimacy there as well. So in any realm, I would say definitely sex, but it also could be emotional intimacy. It could be an exchange of resources, and it could also be joint enterprises, getting close with people. So I hope that makes sense. And last but never least, Pisces. Pisces, this new moon in Leo is hitting your 6th house of lifestyle. So there's new beginnings for you in terms of work, health, your day-to-day regime. Be a lot of fun. Oh, I'm glad, Casmar. Great to hear it. Great to hear it. My pleasure. So, Pisces, this is a new beginning for you in terms of just making your day-to-day life just more enjoyable. So think about your habits. What new habits do you want to invoke over the next 2 weeks? What new things do you want to do in your life? What is your lifestyle? So it's like, what kind of lifestyle do you want? And what does that mean for you in terms of the work that you do day to day, the habits that you have, and also your exercise, your diet, right? That's all about your lifestyle. So oftentimes when you want something, it has to become your lifestyle. It just does, right? So like, for instance, some things are bad to have part of your lifestyle, right? Like, you don't want to have something like, getting drunk part of your lifestyle. That's just not good. But say you want to be a writer. Well, writing needs to be part of your lifestyle. Or say you want to be in really, really great shape. Well, fitness then has to be part of your lifestyle. So think about what you can implement into your lifestyle over the next 2 weeks that's gonna make you happy. Essentially, a 6th house transit, it's all about finding the right combination of things to make you well or happy. Meanwhile, you got Mercury and Mars in your 7th house because they're in Virgo. So there could be some surprises and delights in the realm of partnerships and collaborations. So I would think about your partners, and there could be some really good things there. There could be some new partners. This could be about rekindling old relationships with old partners, but partnerships are good for you right now. And I would say really consider, what day-to-day things you can do that are just going to really add immensely to your life. Like if you had this every day, it would put a smile on your face. Well, do it. Do it. So let's see what wisdom you get from the Tarot, Pisces, for your new moon in Leo. Wisdom for Pisces. 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 5 of Swords. Oh boy. So 5 of Swords, essentially, you want to make sure that you are not going for the win-lose result. So the 5 of Swords is essentially, it's you feeling as if you're going to be defeated. It's like a fear of failure card or a fear of defeat. So 2 things. In some instances, you're going to have to watch your back, right? Some instances, some people are not your friend. They are against you. And you got to be very particular and make sure that you are looking out for numero uno, that you're watching your back, right? But there's other instances in which there's no attack that's happening, and you need to allow yourself to go for the win-win result. This is the win-lose result. This is like, I'm going to win because you're going to lose. And that's very, very fear-based. So yes, there are going to be times in which you need to protect yourself, right? But there are also going to be times in which you're letting your head get in the way, and there's no need to protect yourself. You can have a win-win situation. So go for those win-win situations when they are possible. But when they are not, then you need to definitely watch your back. So keep that in mind. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Be sure to check out your written Tarotscopes, which are on my website in the description below, as well, of course, as readings, coaching, etc. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And I shall for sure see you soon. So take good care. And thanks for joining me today on the live.